our border, former Pinal County Sheriff Paul Babeu. He served as a major in the Arizona National Guard and commanded 1,200 National Guardsmen in 2006 when President Bush dispatched, as I understand, 6,000 National Guard to the border. That's correct. All right, Sheriff, good to have you here. So thank you. Talk to us on why now. Why is there an increase, and why is the president saying, I've had enough, I want to send the National Guard?
Well, we're seeing now those south of the border are saying, in fact, hey, let's probe, let's test the resolve of this president. Because the laws by Congress are still handcuffing our system. This catch and release was still allowed up until this week, so the president did a terrific thing in signing that order, ending catch and release, and Sessions, who's been late to the game on, is really pushing hard, and I applaud him for that. What we need, he's sending 4,000 National Guard, and I caution this whole process in this deployment. Because there's some who are advising the president to send, hey, let's send mechanics to fix the Border Patrol vehicles. Let's send admin support so they can do paperwork and they can do some of the surveillance in their communication center. I was the commander of those who did that work, and then also, far more importantly, armed soldiers. Actually issued 120 rounds of ammunition. They were deployed directly on the border. So you had 3 to 5 soldiers right on the border with a military vehicle. We actually had a bank of lights that lit them up at nighttime, so they were in full plain view.
So Paul, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Could the National Guard was deputized to make arrests?
No, and so I have the law enforcement background and the military. They didn't need to, because that show of force, everyone in the world knows America's military is the most powerful. So those south of the border, you have to understand, you understand this as a judge, nobody wants to get caught. So when they see that show of force, they say, my God, we're not going in through here. So any of these high trafficked or built up areas, that's where you deploy our armed soldiers. And that's what's needed.
All right, quickly before we end.
Yes.
George Bush did this, other presidents have done this. When are we going to do it for once and for all? What is it going to take to stop the flow of drugs, human trafficking, and all the illegality that is coming across the border? What's it going to take?
You build the wall. But the two components that worked in Yuma, we had a 94% reduction in illegals and in drug smuggling. And how that worked was streamline, which was prosecute everybody who came across the border and formally deport them. The president, in effect, just ordered that for all 9 sectors of the Border Patrol. So that's win-1 for the president. He set the table. The second part of this, he has to deploy, in my recommendation, armed soldiers to the border. If you're going to send America's military, that's hard force. Don't send a tent service for mechanics and all this other support. Support the Border Patrol. They will come in and make the arrest just as they did in Yuma, and you will see this border is secured once and for all when the wall is built finally with President Trump.
All right, Paul Babeu, thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you, Judge.